We have an interesting pictorial on the board here, and because it's been so prominently seen in its regular version of a man who's wearing a hat representing the power or the symbolization of the United States of America, saying he wants you. When you really look at how the legal system operates and the connection to not only the words and their etymology, the fact that the word American is a Gentile terminology out of Oxford's dictionary, concise dictionary, 22 volumes, not going to be found in an average dictionary, so don't go looking for it. But we put Uncle Satan wants you because you'll find that the focus of the money system even centers in on the United States. And it's interesting that at times when you look at the United States on its implied persona at times that it was going to be a Christian nation that was going to follow the Bible as its guideline, but in reality, when you really look deeply at everything within it, God doesn't need a nation in the system we're in now to try to create another kingdom with the chaos that we've already seen going on worldwide. So we're not here picking directly in the United States, no different than what we're seeing worldwide with other nations such as Canada, Australia, England. But the fact is that the focus on the money, the mammon, seems to relate to being used through the United States. And of course, it's nicknamed the U.S. And I'm only just finding things that are sometimes almost too beyond what we use the word coincidence, that they're there for a reason. And when I go to Matthew chapter 27, verse 25, when they were in the midst of the trial of Jesus and his execution, those that were against him, these Pharisees that were denying the Messiah, denying who was going to be their ultimate king and sovereign in the future, whether they wanted him or not, stated to Pilate, who basically could have released him, they said, then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. So when we look at that, then answered all the people, this is the collective of the society that was there under the civil rulership of Caesar. They said his blood would be on us and on our children. Now, if we look, misery likes company or comfort by having many more join into the misery, we can go to really the meaning of the word on us, which is onus. Even though it's two separate words, it does relate to an actual definition for the word onus. So we're going to go into Black's Law Fourth. We've been using this quite frequently. I tend to find actually this the more versatile and more clear out of all the ones I've ever read out of Black's. There's the odd one here and there, but it's amazing that the legal system will attack individuals such as myself from quoting out of dictionaries that they put in there that contain case law, everything else through the whole system of their legal, I would say craft. I call it more like a witchcraft, but the definitions are clear, and surprisingly, they expose themselves with these definitions. So we're going to go to the word onus in Black's Law Fourth, and the first thing that pops up, Latin, it says, it comes from a Latin, onus, O-N-U-S, a burden or load, a weight, the lading burden or cargo of a vessel, a charge, an encumbrance. So when they said that the blood will be on us, they said they would carry the burden. Now when you go into Luke chapter 11, when Christ was condemning the lawyers or the scribes of that time, he said that they place burdens upon the people that they themselves do not carry. You read Matthew Henry's commentary on Luke 11, woe unto you lawyers. His first words are, the lawyers own the debt of the company. So it's their debt. They created it because they had to create something that said no grace, no forgiveness, and no redemption. And so they run a legal system that's opposite to that, because they couldn't make the deception continue, because Satan's world does not accept Christ. It runs contrary as an enemy, in opposition to God and his Son. So if we look at, could possibly the word last or last name that's used in our society as the surname be defined also as a burden, as an onus? Well, let's go to the word last. And in Black's Law, fourth. So great about this, you have the ability to do exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing prepared here superly in advance, so it's not scripted. I'm not reading basically cards to tell me what to say. And here is the word last in Black's, and it starts off, in Old English law signifies a burden, also a measure of weight used for certain commodities of the bulkier sort. So when we take into account that in order to operate in legal society, you need a last name, a burden name, and remember, the burden of proof is always upon the one making the claim. So if you're claiming that name, the burden is on you. The side that really possibly could be prosecuting or attacking you does not have the burden once you've stated it, because you've placed the burden upon yourself. You've actually stated that you carry the burden, the weight, the debt, all that is all signified within this. And because we know that the last name is more signified to or symbolized to relate to money, debt, guilt, sin, basically the entering into commerce, mammon. It's the mammon name, so that they know which side you're on, which God you worship. So therefore, wouldn't they use such a thing as this? Now, again, I've said in previous videos, do you want to come in first or do you want to come in last? And if you're going to come in last, well, you're going to lose. And in this situation here, we have to definitely realize that we've been warned in so many ways regarding the use of these words. So Satan is really a collector of souls. So when birth records are put together, such as the statement of birth record, this is really just a draft. This is not really what's going to happen. This is just basically on the surface. And so the race begins here. And again, which side are you on? Now, which draft did you drink out of? The tree? Did you drink from the cup of Christ, or did you drink out of the cup of Satan? And it's interesting that the word draft is an archaic word for a cup. So we have both to choose from, but the cup of Christ certainly we know would cancel out the debt of any world of Satan, and therefore it removed what basically caused man his fall in time, and then basically has relieved ourselves from any concept of such a world that we're living in today. The problem is people are so basically willing to think that there is no hope, there is no remedy, and so they stay within the squalor of it, and they energize the very thing because they want remedy while they're doing the very thing that's causing them the problem. So if you're energizing the draft or the burden or the last name that appears to be what is the burden in the legal system, it requires your spirit in their dead body corporate of sin and death in order to energize that. So we're getting a lot of emails from people that are still a little confused on this and what they need to do. And we hope that within a very short period of time, we're going to have a podcast. So I'm going to keep on bringing it up in the videos so you'll be able to interact. We're not saying we're going to be able to talk to everybody, but we will open it up in a proper manner that we know is far superior to anything we've ever done on the YouTube channels. So hopefully this video has helped you to realize words, why they have such a powerful meaning, and how they affect you based on what comes out of your mouth.